No, what is it? Prince Harry and his wife are
Meghan Markle
are talking about potentially moving to Canada.
Oh, that's right.
And the New York Times posted a tweet or something saying like, "Oh, now that the royalty is moving there, that'll bring some razzle dazzle to their bone-chillingly cold country." And a bunch of Canadians were like, "You people are idiots.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have no idea what you're talking about."
So I think I saw some of the fallout of that. Then I wasn't sure where that was coming from.
There's a bunch of Canadians like, "Oh, let me come out of my igloo and see the prince," stuff like that.
Canada's not happy with America right now, anyway.
I can't imagine why.
Yeah,
we're pretty great.
That whole Iran thing.
Oh yeah.
All those Canadians that just got killed.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
We're live, by the way.
Yeah. that certainly didn't stop a bunch of Canadians from dying for no reason.
No.
Yeah.
60, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, after show.
Hey,
warn brother when we're live,
Welcome. Well, I thought that was obvious from when I said I'm gonna make the podcast live again, and then.
Okay, so I guess you warned me.
But maybe you should pay attention now because we're gonna do an EGM review quiz.
Oh
God,
that's right.
These always go so well.
they pretty much do. From the February 2000 issue EGM.
2000. What was on the cover? Or will that give something away?
Taxi. No.
Crazy Ivan?
Taxi. That was a great cover.
Crazy Ivan?
Not Crazy
Classic
Ivan. No.
PlayStation 1 mech combat game, Crazy Ivan?
Yeah,
nope.
I remember that.
Nope. Not
Where's
correct.
my Crazy Ivan sequel?
I don't know. But,
I'll tell you where it is.
Where is it?
Up my butt.
Let's see here. All right. February 2000 issue of EGM. That means, 20 years ago. Yeah.
It was 20 years ago today. Sergeant Pepper taught the band to play.
Phil, that means you are up first because you did your what you've been playing first.
But they're guaranteed to raise a smile.
This one is for PlayStation.
Yeah, that was the Rolling Stones there, if you've ever listened to them.
Yep.
It was a song written by Jack London of the Rolling Stones. It's a
band.
PS1 game?
PS1.
Okay, what year are we in again?
2000.
2000, the year 2000. Okay.
Sorry. Calling blank an old school shooter would be doing it a disservice because you've never played anything like this before. The clever, downright wild gameplay takes getting used to. Still, the first few levels baby step you into the game nicely, and you'll get the hang of your enormous arsenal of moves in no time. Despite its grating digitized voices, Blank delivers all the killer bosses, capital B bosses, and solid gameplay I'd expect from a blank title.
Let me think here. G. Darius. No.
That was a pretty quick guess.
That was a quick guess.
Yeah.
Shooter with a bunch of moves. That's a weird way to describe a shooter.
Yeah.
Shooter, yeah. Despite its grating digitized voices, Blank delivers all the killer bosses and solid gameplay I'd expect from a blank title.
I don't know. Ray Crisis?
Is it Einhander?
Yeah, I'm going to say Einhander, but that's too late for Einhander.
Is it R-Type Delta?
Silhouette Mirage.
It
Yeah.
is Silhouette
That was the other one I was gonna guess, but I thought that's crazy to call Silhouette Mirage a shooter.
Yeah.
Well, he said calling Silhouette Mirage an old school shooter would be doing it a disservice because it's not.
So I get a point for that then?
No.
Calling the latest John Madden game an old school shooter would be doing it a disservice because that's not the type of game it is.
That's right. That got an 8.5 from Crispin Boyer.
All right.
All right, Greg.
Mm-hmm.
This one is for the Nintendo 64. Party games like Blank are the best. It makes kicking back with a group of your favorite chums for a night of tainted beverages and gut-splitting laughs all the easier. Sure, the game is a little childish and silly in spots, but it'll entertain you again and again. Even with all the rounds of Blank we played, the variety of boards and kick-ass mini-games had us coming back for more. If you entertain guests who game, this title is a sound investment.
For the N64?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the timeline for the Mario Party games. I don't know if Mario Party...
It seems likely it's probably one of those.
I don't even know how many there were on the N64. I'm going to say Mario Party 2.
It is Mario Party 2.
Hey, I knew it was one of the early ones.
Boom shakalaka. Phil.
Yeah.
This one is for the Nintendo 64.
Okay.
Mario Party 2.
Mario Party 3. Those
No,
were released
no.
really close together.
They were released close together. I think there were 3 or 4 on the N64, right?
I believe 4.
5 definitely came out on GameCube.
Yeah, I think it was 4 on N64, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, they had a lot of those.
Yeah.
This one's for the Nintendo 64. Okay.
Okay.
For the very life of me, I just can't get myself whipped up into a Blank-induced frenzy over this. Maybe it's because most of the gameplay ideas have been seen before in Blank. Maybe this cutie style of game is getting old, or maybe it just seems that Blank is just out of good ideas. There's little wrong with Blank, and it certainly doesn't suck, but it's another one of, quote, these games. It's exactly what you expect it to be, but nothing more.
Banjo-Tooie?
That's a good guess.
Yeah.
Not good enough, but a good
No,
guess.
Not good
probably
enough.
Can you read it again?
Sure. For the very life of me, I just can't get myself whipped up into a Blank-induced frenzy over this. Maybe it's because most of the gameplay ideas have been seen before in Blank. Maybe this cutie style of game is getting old, or maybe it just seems that Blank is out of good ideas. There's little wrong with Blank, and it certainly doesn't suck, but it's another one of, quote, these games. It's exactly what you expect it to be, but nothing more.
Donkey Kong 64?
Ah,
It is Donkey Kong 64.
man. I was close.
I would have guessed Banjo
Close.
Tooie if
Yeah.
you hadn't first.
Right?
I reviewed this game and I gave it an 8.5.
Yeah, that's
As
Yeah, you
did-
weirdly liked Donkey Kong 64.
As did John Davison. Gave it an
That's
8.5 as
weird.
well. That was
That is-
that was his review.
that is not a good game. That was an 8.5 review?
That was an 8.5.
That did not sound like an 8.5.
Yeah.
Well, it had the Nintendo bonus on it.
Mm.
Yeah. All right, Phil.
Nope.
No, wait, Greg.
Yeah, I'm in trouble.
Greg, this one
Greg's whooping me.
is for the Nintendo 64
Oh, good.
again. Yeah.
Hey, you got the last 2 N64 ones correct, so.
We don't need another uninspired first-person shooter like Blank. The story is nothing special, and cinemas are too choppy to enjoy. The frame rate is chunky in the low-res mode at times, mostly choppy in the high-res mode, and downright unacceptable in the multiplayer mode, which ruins them. And certain levels are terribly dark instead of foggy to cover up drawing. It's just not very fun.
Perfect Dark? Mhm.
Hmm. Hmm. Oh, jeez. Was there a third Turok on the N64? I'm pretty sure I'm remembering a third Turok. Turok Rage Wars.
I bet you it was Turok 3.
Is that
Okay.
was Turok Rage Wars? Is that a game?
That's
Yep.
a multiplayer
But that was
focused
a
game.
multiplayer
I think we did that in this quiz like
We did.
Did
a
we?
month or two ago. Yeah.
Turok Rage Wars. Oh, it came out October 31st, 1999.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
This one was Armorine's Project Swarm.
Oh, of course.
Oh wow.
Another
Yeah.
acclaimed first-person shooter.
Yeah.
Armorine's not very good.
Yeah.
Got a 4.5 from Sean
Mm.
of
Sean
Sean
Smith.
Sean Smith.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Who are we up to now?
That is
Phil.
Philip.
My turn.
Phil,
Yes.
this one is another game for the N64.
The
God,
Nintendo
there were
64.
a lot of Nintendo 64 games coming out
Yeah.
early 2000s. All right. I never played the first one, but this is exactly how a 3D blank should play. Granted, the graphics aren't fantastic, and the use of the expansion pack makes it look worse rather than better. Choppy high res, smoother in low res. The control and camera can be a little jerky, but it's got the same feel as the classic blank games. Put this same kind of gameplay and depth into a prettier shell and clean up the control, and you've got a classic.
Oh,
That could be anything.
yeah. It was a 2D game that is now 3D. Trying to think what that could be. This is 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, it supports the RAM pack. It sounds like.
Yep.
Oh boy. Ugh, I don't know. Mega Man 64. It's not, but yeah.
Bubsy 3D wasn't on the N64.
No. Oh, no.
I think this was in a previous game that we did, but Earthworm Jim 64.
Yeah, it was in a previous game.
Yeah.
I think the last month
Yeah,
of
it was.
EGM is that reason. I'm sorry. This one is Castlevania: Legacy of Darkness.
Oh,
If you remember, they did two
yeah.
N64
I have both of them.
Castlevanias. One came out. The first one was terrible.
It was
Mhm.
just
The
called
second, this was the
Castlevania.
second one.
Right.
Yeah, and it was slightly better, but still not fantastic.
Yeah.
Again, brilliant marketing. The first one sucked.
Yeah.
Hey, the second one seemed really good.
Yeah, here a year
No, it
later, here's
wasn't.
another one.
Who wrote that?
Me. I wrote it. I gave it
Really?
a 7.0.
Ooh, you like that? Well, you like a lot of terrible N64 games.
It was at the time you judged based on other N64 games.
It was a terrible
was-
game, though.
Donkey
Really low.
Kong better than Castlevania: Legacy of Darkness.
Ugh,
I think
but
that
but
much is clear.
absolutely not good.
Well, okay.
Okay.
All
right.
I guess that means Greg's up.
Yep.
Greg, this one is for PlayStation.
All right.
Well, it's better than the last one, but this is yet another example that just goes to show that we don't need to see these franchise games every year. We're still saying that like how many years later, right? It's more than apparent that the old idea. Wait, what?
I don't know.
Oh, I got it. It's more than apparent that the old Idea well is running a bit dry at blank. And while the graphics are improved and the story more focused than last time, you can't help but feel that this was rushed out. Some of the puzzles don't seem thought through properly, and there are still control issues.
What was I'm trying to think which one it was. Tomb Raider Chronicles.
Did that have any more subtitle on it? It was just called Chronicles.
I don't remember.
I'm going to give you a wrong answer on that.
But you've just told Phil that it's a Tomb Raider game.
Yeah, it's a Tomb Raider game.
I mean,
CJ.
good.
Appreciate that.
You think Phil knows any Tomb Raider games?
Appreciate that.
Well, that's no Tomb Raider.
So let's see. What did you just say, Greg?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Chronicles.
Tomb Raider. Well, let's see. It's not going to be Tomb Raider. Trying to think what Tomb Raider. Oh, what was it called? Was it like The Last Revelation or something?
Hey, you win 4 points.
You're a dick.
Hey! Is it The Last Revelation?
It is. Yes.
Look at
It
look
is
at
the
that.
last.
Phil doesn't
No,
know
that I was wrong
We
because
didn't
Tomb
see
Raider
your
Chronicles was
hands,
the game that
though.
came after that.
Hmm?
Could hear
Tomb
you
Raider
typing
Chronicles
on
was the
your-
game that came after Last Revelation.
on your keyboard there.
Oh yeah,
Phil.
I was typing that. I was looking that up.
Well, I guess we have to do a tiebreaker now since we're all tied up at 2 each.
Since you gave that last one to Phil,
Oh come on! I knew it was a Tomb Raider. It had to be a Tomb Raider.
Well,
But I mean, Greg won though. That was the only.
Greg won, yeah.
Wasn't that the only point I got?
yeah.
that's
But
the
let's
point.
let's
Yeah.
hear the
But we're gonna
tiebreaker.
do
Let's hear
the
the tie-
tiebreaker anyway.
Let's hear the time.
Phil, we'll give you a crack at it first.
Okay.
See if you can.
Okay.
Use
Get
the
I'm
tiebreaker
very,
to tie it
I'm
up.
very impressed. I remembered Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation, by the way, because yeah,
I
I
knew.
do not know the Tomb Raider series.
You know what? The Last Revelation, I want to say, is the one that I spent a lot of time mapping.
Oh, really?
I think
Oh,
I did
yeah.
a walkthrough for that for extra life. Oh my god,
Expert gamer.
expert gamer.
Huh.
And I
Yeah.
vividly remember because IDOS didn't supply us with any maps. I mapped the whole game
Yeah.
on graph
crazy.
paper.
Oof.
Yeah.
It was soul crushing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did that with Dino Crisis 2.
Oh, fun.
Ooh,
I mapped that whole game out.
fun.
Yeah.
Phil, this one is
Yeah.
for PlayStation 1.
Okay.
Blank has the strangest sense of humor of any game developer out there, but they sure know how to crank out a good platform game. I much prefer a smaller area with lots of things to do and different things than a huge overworld with lots of wandering around wondering where to go next. It feels like an old school 2D game trapped in a three-dimensional world, a tad bit on the easy side, but is an enjoyable adventure for platform fans.
Ooh. Skull Monkeys. Eh.
Read it again.
Blank has the strangest sense of humor of any game developer out there, but they sure know how to crank out a good platform game. I much prefer a smaller area with lots of things to do and different things than a huge overworld with lots of wandering around, wondering where to go next. It feels like an old school 2D game trapped in a three-dimensional world, a tad bit on the easy side, but is an enjoyable adventure for platform fans.
Rayman 2.
Is it Wild 9?
Wild 9 was so bad.
Oh.
Oh,
Wild
it's
9.
not. No, this says a
What?
shiny
Say it.
game. It's on the
MDK?
Dreamcast. MDK.
It's a
MDK
platformer.
2?
Feels like a 2D game trapped in a three-dimensional world. 2D.
Okay,
game.
what is it?
It's Tomba 2, The Evil Swine Return.
Oh,
Oh,
I think I ever played that.
Tomba 2.
I mean,
Tomba
it's a
and
good
Tomba 2 are
game.
great. They're great.
no, they
yeah.
are
games.
great, but who has the strange sense of humor?
Whoopee Camp.
Oh,
The
Whoopee
developer.
Camp.
that's right.
Whoopee Camp. And I wrote this review and I gave it a 7.5.
Was Tomba known for its crazy sense of humor, though?
It was when CJ was
Yes.
writing the review.
I guess
Yes.
so.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll just say yes.
Okay.
Anyway,
Well, there we go.
that's
Congratulations,
our
Greg.
game. Congratulations to Greg, who
Thanks.
won.
Yay!
Yay.
And the crowd goes wild.
Mm-hmm. Thank you to all of our Patreon supporters for making this after show possible. If you, dear Patreon listener, have an idea for a game that we could play on the after show, please email that to player1podcast@gmail.com. That's all spelled out. Player
Gmail.
the word podcast @gmail.com. And then we'll play it on the show. Some of our intrepid listeners have used the site jeopardylabs.com, which will let you create a Jeopardy game board, and then all three of us can play because I won't have the answers ahead of time. And won't that be fun? So that'd be good if people would do that. Then I wouldn't have to write down the EGM reviews. But thank you again so much, Patreon backers, for making this possible and for supporting the show. It really does help so much, especially with the Zoom expense there.
Cheap.
Sure. Cheap. Alrighty. Well, everybody, thank you very much for listening. Have a great week. Happy birthday again to Phil. And we will see everybody.
Happy 54th birthday, Phil.
Happy 54th.
What's that?
Over the hill, finally. Yeah, you are.
Oh, you youngsters.
And we will see everybody next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.